Teachers, is the concept of being on camera all day, every day worrying you? Are you concerned with keeping your students engaged? If you are, watch this video to see what techniques we have used successfully to teach thousands of students over the past few months. My name is Mike Flynn, owner of Engenius Learning Center. Over the past 5 months, my tutors and I have taught over 5,000 distance learning lessons. In addition, I've been creating LMS courses for the past 4 years and have learned what works and what does not. I'm sharing this list of best practices that we use for my staff. I hope some of this will be of some use to you. Video and sound. When filming, I'm mainly trying to make a distraction-free environment, so the students only have my lesson to focus on. Doing a little research, I came across studies that MIT and USC conducted on their online courses, and those studies revealed sound is more important than video. Students were willing to deal with bad video, but students quickly disengage with bad audio.
Hollow, echoey audio can be a distraction. Try always to have the microphone as close as possible when presenting.
A close-up shot is more beneficial for student engagement than a wide shot at a whiteboard. Your students are very used to watching YouTube videos from their favorite content creators. Nearly all of these creators hold a one-on-one conversation with the viewer and are not trying to reach all viewers at the same time. Think about this experience as a one-on-one tutorial with a few dozen kids listening in. Moving back and forth between pictures of you and slides was more effective than just slides alone. Toggling back and forth between screen share and the image of you speaking maintains the student-teacher connection. If you have software that will allow it, putting a picture-in-picture option keeps student engagement much higher. Know when you are out of frame. It is easy to get lost when teaching. If you have a second screen, even your phone displaying what the students see, it will give you a much better sense of the user experience. Too often we get caught up in what we are doing and lose sight of what we are creating. Lighting is key. The fluorescent lights in a classroom are generally not bright enough. Getting cheap Home Depot lights will brighten a room considerably and lead to much higher student engagement. Lighting you in your teaching area may require a different setup and an additional light. When lighting you, 2 lights on either side of you, slightly elevated, will give you a desirable look. Too low and you look like you are filming a spooky movie. Too off to the side and there can be some very unflattering shadows. Hey, we all want to look as good as we can. Aside from vanity, bad lighting can lead to distraction and a loss of interest. Camera angle is key as well. Whenever possible, try to have your camera at eye level, straight on, or just off to the side. It's usually better to have the camera a bit too high than too low. Few people look attractive with the up-the-nose shot. Your student user experience will be different on different devices and different browsers. After I've completed lessons, I then open it in different browsers and computers with different operating systems. If you don't have access to multiple operating systems, find fellow teachers with different systems such as tablets, Chromebooks, Macs, or PCs, and ask them to do a quick overview of how it looks. For straight text, this isn't as important, but it's more critical the more sophisticated your courses get with images, video, and quizzes. Something to also realize is that the screen size will determine how much a student will need to scroll down, and not all browsers are responsive, which is adjusting to specific pages as you've created them. So keeping your LMS pages simple will allow for a more uniform feel. Student engagement and ease of use is critical for LMS success. The most successful courses generally have page content focused on one point, with most of the material appearing above the fold, which is an old newspaper term for where most of the critical information appears in the top half. Students will generally not search for your main point, so display that prominently and often on each page. Your initial lessons will be very simplistic compared to what you will produce next semester. Focus mainly on PDF delivery and branch out after you've started to get the hang of the materials. From a teaching standpoint, we find it easier to open up the tabs in the order we plan on using them for the class lecture on your computer, and then moving from tab to tab as opposed to waiting for the page to load each time. The best analogy I have for this is giving a speech on note cards as opposed to a long scrolling piece of paper. You would effectively just move from one note card to the next for each point, as opposed to just having one long scrolling piece of paper where if you got lost, you were lost. This method also prevented issues where your computer won't load, but the students' computers did. You have to get very good at talking to yourself and being the only one who will laugh at your own jokes. But you will get better, it will get more comfortable, but it'll be very awkward at first. If possible, set up a second window or monitor with just what the camera shows, so you always have an idea of what the students are looking at. As you teach from your LMS, and particularly when there's a lecture that moves from point to point, you can use the real-time analytics built into the LMS. You can plug in a problem periodically and then ask and wait for the level of understanding. By checking those analytics, you're going to be able to see that, hey, 33% of the class missed this. This is enough for me to go back and review. For example, if you were teaching the Pythagorean theorem, you could ask a simple question on whether a triangle with sides 5, 12, and 13 was a right triangle. The students then have a moment to answer, and you can see in real time what the class level of understanding is. Ready work, checklist, and odds and ends. Strange things happen online. You can have a glitch with your equipment, the internet falters, or something weird will happen. As you begin every lesson, have 1 or 2 small assignments queued up so that students always have something to do if there's a problem. As you learn your way around the video setup and integrating chat with your LMS, you'll find you did something wrong and you'll need a few minutes to fix it. Having a little bit of extra work on hand really will pay dividends. And for whatever reason, your internet completely goes out, the kids know, hey, this is the assignment for today, these are the objectives, and this is what's to be accomplished by the end of the day, no matter what. We found that our sessions also went best when there was a regular pattern the kids could expect. They love checklists for completion, which we would show periodically to say, hey, we were here, then we completed this, and it was just nice to bring it back to that, and those are easy enough to do on a Google slide. They also did enjoy the different or random activities to break up the monotony. While this may not be different than teaching in a classroom, it is easy to forget when you are so concerned with how you're performing online. In years past, teachers would ask for paper, pencils, or other classroom supplies. This year, we don't need any of that, so start an Amazon wish list for things to make your classroom experience better for filming. Ask for things like studio lighting, a wireless lavalier microphone so that you can walk around and still have great audio, or a subscription to a video editing software package like Camtasia or ScreenFlow for Mac. Of course, the free movie editing software that comes with your computer will work, but if you're trying to make videos that you can repurpose a few times, it might make sense to spend a little extra time and make a canned video and then be able to use that repeatedly. While your lessons can be synchronous, your canned videos do not have to be.